Hello and welcome back to Mindfulness Mondays, session 2. Just before we get started, I'd like to ask each of you to take a moment to go and grab a small, meaningful object or stone, just something you might have lying around your house. It's going to be very important for an exercise later on. So just pause the video and take a few minutes to go and grab something. Before we get fully stuck in, I'd just like to have everyone do a bit of a check-in with yourself. So how did you find yourself getting on with last week's homework? Have you managed to introduce some more self-compassion into your day-to-day life? Perhaps adjusted your internal dialogue and how you speak to yourself in the language that's used? Also take note of how you might have been feeling over the past week. Happy, sad, calm, perhaps nothing's really changed, and it's all being quite much of the same. So, in today's session, we're going to start our mindfulness practice. However, I'd like to give you a bit of background information on what mindfulness is before we get started. Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present and aware of where we are and what we're doing, and to not become overwhelmed or overly reactive by what's going on around us. Whenever you bring awareness to what you're directly experiencing via your senses or to your state of mind via your thoughts and emotions, you're being mindful. The practice of mindfulness often leads to a sense of balance and psychological well-being. To cultivate mindfulness, you don't need to create any particular sense of mind, such as relaxation or focus. Instead, your task is to simply become aware of each thought, feeling, or sensation as it arises in the present moment, and to let each thought, sensation, or feeling pass away without judgment or attachment to this. Mindfulness positively impacts our mental health by decreasing judgment and decreasing the amount of time spent daydreaming about the past and the future. It can help to improve our immune system functioning and even lead to structural changes in the brain. Mindfulness meditation has also been found to be really effective in treating symptoms associated with depression and anxiety. With time, through the practice of mindfulness, many often find themselves becoming less judgmental. And when we stop judging our experiences, we're able to become less defensive and less reactive, making it easier for us to tolerate unpleasant experiences. By practicing mindfulness, we also learn to stop judging ourselves, engaging with our ability to be more self-compassionate. And if judging happens to occur in the moment, mindfulness teaches us to simply be aware of the judging and how it impacts our experience within that moment. With time, this leads to increases in self-compassion, self-awareness, and resilience. The overall goal of mindfulness is to wake up the inner workings of our mental, emotional, and physical processes. And this is often done through a meditation practice. So, with meditation, it's exploring. It's not a fixed destination. Your head doesn't become vacuumed free of thought, utterly undistracted. It's a special place where each and every moment is momentous. When we meditate, we venture into the workings of our mind, our sensations, so perhaps air blowing on our skin or a harsh smell wafting into the room, our emotions, love this, hate that, crave this, and thoughts. So, wouldn't it be weird to see an elephant playing a trumpet? Mindfulness meditation asks us to suspend judgment and unleash our natural curiosity about the workings of the mind, approaching our experiences with warmth and kindness to ourselves and others. So, without any further ado, we'll get into our first meditation exercise, which is a self-compassionate body scan. What I'd like you to do to begin is to ensure that you are in a comfortable position, either lying down on the floor or in a bed, or sitting up in an armchair with some back support. If you are lying down, rest your arms about 6 inches away from your sides and ensure that your legs are slightly spread, about shoulder width apart. If you're sitting up in a chair, either place your arms on the arms of your chair or rest them loosely in your lap and have your legs roughly shoulder width apart. I'd like you to place your hand on your heart and take a moment to remember to be kind to yourself during this exercise. Feel the warmth of your hand and take 3 deep, relaxing breaths. Now, gently move your arm back to your side again, or place it gently back in your lap. And you can choose now to either close your eyes, or lower your gaze, or to look softly at the image on the screen I'm about to bring up. So, starting with your feet, I'd like you to notice what your feet are like. Are they warm or cool, dry or moist? Now, with a gentle curiosity, noticing if there's any discomfort there, anything maybe out of the usual. And if there is discomfort present, try to mentally soften the area, as if you're placing a warm towel or blanket on your foot. And if you wish, perhaps bringing some compassion to the area with words such as, "There is a little pain here, it's okay," or, "I'm feeling some pain, that's all right, this is a part of life." We're going to continue to be with the body, noticing any sensations that may be present within the feet. Pain, pleasure, or perhaps just nothing at all. We're just going to let every sensation be as it is. Now, I'd like you to bring a measure of gratitude to your feet. Your feet have such a small surface area, yet they're able to hold up your entire body all day long. They work hard for us, although we rarely pay attention to them. If you find your feet are feeling good today, perhaps try to extend some gratitude for the discomfort that you do have. Taking this gratitude, carefully bringing this compassionate attention from the front of your foot towards the heel, touching on each individual toe, moving your attention from the top of your foot to the bottom, from one foot to the next, making sure that our awareness is saturated with tenderness, gratitude, and respect for the body. As we continue to focus our awareness on the body sensations, should you notice your mind wandering, as it often does, simply return your attention to the sensations in your body. If you happen to notice an area become suddenly flooded with judgment, negative associations, put your hand on your heart and breathe gently. Then return to the simple body sensations. If an area of your body is difficult to stay with, then move to another body part. We want this exercise to be gentle and peaceful. We'll now begin to move up our bodies, maintaining compassionate awareness of the sensations found in various parts. As we move from one part of the body to the next, return your attention to whatever sensations are present in this moment, making sure to bring gratitude, kindness, and respect to each and every body part. So, for example, remind yourself how hard your stomach works to digest your food, or the effort of your neck in holding up your head. We'll spend approximately 10 to 15 seconds on each individual body part, directing gratitude, kindness, and respect. So, let us now move upwards to our ankles, focusing on all that they do for us and supporting us to maintain our upright posture. Now, move upwards again to our calves and shin as we progress towards the crown of our head. And now we move on to our thighs, strong and stable. What did they do for you? Directing your attention and your kindness to your thighs and whatever sensations may be arising in this moment. Moving onwards to our buttocks and our hips and pelvis region. And up to our stomach, taking note of any crumblings that might be there, appreciating how hard it works for us to keep our bodies nourished. And upwards to the chest, housing our most vital organs, our heart and our lungs. Perhaps take a deep breath in this moment. Appreciate the expansion of your chest as you fill your lungs with life-giving air. Now, I'd like us to move to our hands, either lying on the floor beside us or loosely laying in our laps. Try making a fist with your hands, squeezing gently and then letting go. Taking note of the changes of tension and sensation within your hands, perhaps the relaxation that comes with letting go. Take a moment of appreciation for all that our hands do for us, how each finger and thumb is instrumental in carrying out our daily tasks. Moving onwards to our forearms and upper arms, strong, secure, helping us to complete various tasks throughout the day, allowing us to carry the tools that we may need throughout our daily life. What is it that your arms do for you? Upwards to the shoulders. And now on to our back. Perhaps taking note of sensations again found along the length of your spine, giving yourself a little bit of a stretch if needed in this moment, and thanking your back for all that it does for us. Moving upwards to our neck. Now to your face. Take notice of what facial expression you have. Perhaps bringing a gentle smile to your face in this moment of appreciation. Giving thanks for the four senses that our faces and our heads bring to us. The ability to see, smell, taste, and hear. Now move to the crown of our head, to the very top. And just give a moment of appreciation for how our skull, this area of our body, protects our brain. Followed by the moment of appreciation for the brain, which gives us the ability to think, to feel, and to love. Now, as we paid attention to each individual body part, I'd like you to put your hand on your heart again, and with further 3 deep breaths, give your entire body one final shower of affection. Now, when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Let's take a moment to notice how you're feeling following this previous exercise. Are you feeling more relaxed? Perhaps a little bit sleepy? And I'd like you to take a quick search around for that inner voice that we so often struggle to silence or shut off. Is he or she present in this moment? So, hopefully, what we have just achieved through this meditation exercise, the body scan, is activation of what's known as the brain default network mode. I'm just wondering how many of you might have heard of this. You might not have ever heard of this before, but I bet you're probably familiar with it, as we actually experience this on a daily basis in the form of that little voice inside your head. The default mode network is a large-scale network of different areas in your brain which interact with one another. And these connections amongst brain regions in the default mode network are active when individuals are focused on the external environment. It's most active when we're awake, when we do what human beings do so well: think about ourselves, remembering past memories and moments, and imagining the future. Essentially, anything but being focused on what's happening in the here and now. It can be useful because it's involved in our memory, particularly autobiographic, episodic memories. So these are the daily memories that help to play a role in helping us to create a model of our world, predict the future based on past events. And although the default network mode is essential, it does have its drawbacks. For example, it's heavily involved in negative self-talk. Luckily, Mindfulness meditation has been proven to influence the critical areas of the brain that are associated with awareness, stress, and empathy changes. Through meditation, people are able to grow new bits of the brain, new gray matter, which connects to attention and emotional integration within our brains. This can help to improve control over our emotions and over time help us to shut down that pesky inner voice. This means that through maintaining a mindfulness practice over time, one can foster increased levels of self compassion and actually change some of the brain structure to make it easier to activate self compassion during times of self criticism. So, we're going to now move on to our next meditation exercise, affectionate breathing. I'd like you to ensure that you are in a comfortable sitting position for this exercise. So, sitting in a way in which your bones are supporting your muscles, and you don't need any particular amount of effort to remain in one position for this whole exercise. To do this, you might want to try keeping your back straight and gently supported with your shoulder blades slightly dropped, and your chin gently tucked towards your chest. If you find this to be uncomfortable, shift your body back and forth until you find a position that's comfortable and tolerable for you. And if you feel you need to shift during the exercise, that's completely fine. So, I hope that everybody has now found their comfortable seated position. And I'd like you to take 3 slow, easy, deep breaths to relax, letting go of whatever burdens you may be carrying around with you today. Perfect. Now, let your eyelids gently close or partially close. Perhaps turn your gaze to the screen in front of you should you wish, whichever makes you feel most comfortable. Now, bring your attention to your breathing. Pay attention to where you may notice your breathing most easily. Some people feel it at the nostrils, perhaps as a cool breeze on the upper lip. Other people can feel the chest rising and falling. And still, others may feel the breath most clearly in the abdomen as the belly expands with every in-breath and contracts with every out-breath. Gently explore your body and discover where breathing is easiest for you to notice. Now let us just sit and feel the breath just for a little while. And should you notice your mind wandering, as it does, remember to simply bring back your attention to where you feel the breath in your body. Some people may find it easier to pay attention to only one part of the breath cycle, the in-breath or the out-breath. So if you like, notice when you feel your breath more easily. Is it when you exhale or when you inhale? Just feel it then in that moment. Then take it as a little vacation, the ease at which it comes to you. Just wait for the in-breath or the out-breath to return, whichever place you feel more strongly. So feel the breath. Enjoy the breath. Allow yourself to perhaps miss the breath whilst you wait for it to return. We're going to now take some time to simply let the body breathe you, as it does automatically anyways. Now, I'd like you to put your hand on your heart for a moment, just to remind yourself that you'll be bringing kind attention to your breathing in this moment. Be aware of how your breath nourishes you when you're paying attention to it or not. The breath is with you from birth until death, more loyal than your closest friend. Perhaps you can allow yourself to appreciate this automatic process that sustains your life wherever you go. See if you can incline towards your breathing with gentle curiosity and gratitude. And again, don't worry if your mind wanders away from the sensation of the breath many times over each minute. Don't worry about how often your mind wanders. Just gently return to the feeling of your breathing when you notice this. Now, just for a moment, rest in the experience of your breath and your body. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Great. We'll now move on to our third meditation exercise, known as the here and now. That object I asked you to get earlier on at the beginning of the session, I'd like you to bring it to in front of you right now. So it's either resting on a surface or in your hand. Right. So through this practice, this exercise, we're going to aim to bring even more awareness to the here and now. So, picking up that stone or object and holding it in your hand. Any sense object is able to bring us into the present moment and out of our sorrows or the past and our worries associated with the future, as long as we're able to be aware of our moment-to-moment experiences of the object. So, to start, holding the object in your hand, looking at it, simply enjoy this moment, taking note of what it might be like to feel and to hold this object in your hand. Gently close your eyes now, bringing your full attention to the sensation of the object, the sensations of it in your fingers and resting on your palm. Is the object soft or hard, warm or cold? Is it smooth? Focus your attention on the felt sensation in your hands. Now, gently opening your eyes and lowering your gaze to the object. Let us take some time to simply enjoy the sight of it, focusing on how it looks in the moment. Perhaps taking note of its size, shape. Is it shiny or matte? Now, try to savor how the object feels in your hand and its appearance. Try turning it a few times in your fingers. Let us contemplate how this object came into your possession. Perhaps thinking about its age, or the person who gave it to you, or the scenario in which you gave it to yourself in an act of kindness. Take note of any feelings that are present, any emotions. Are they kind and supportive? I do hope so. If they're not, or if you struggled to find connection to this object, that's just fine. Perhaps select a different object, one that can be used to bring to mind comfort and compassion. I'd now like you to come back, placing your object down on the surface in front or beside you. And what I'd like you to do over this coming week, or at any time when you may be feeling distress or agitation, is to reach for this object or a different one, bringing yourself into the present moment, and focus on how you're interacting with this object, any feelings that may be evoked. Use this moment as a mini vacation in the present to take you away from those feelings of distress, self-criticism, or hardness. We'll now go on to our fourth and final exercise, known as compassionate walking. So, if you happen to find yourself with the time, try to plan a walk for 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, anywhere you like. If you're unable to get out of the house, try walking on the spot in a quiet room, or try perhaps using virtual walking websites. I'd now like to invite you to stand if you can, or if more comfortable, remain sitting, but to push your bottom forward so that there's a 90-degree angle from your body to the tops of your legs, to your knees, down to the floor. So, standing still for a moment, I'd like you to anchor your attention to your body, being aware of yourself in the standing posture, if you are in fact standing, or being aware of your sitting posture with your straight back. Feel your body. And as you begin to walk, perhaps on the spot, or if sitting, a seated walk, recall that every living person wants to live peacefully and happily. Connect with the following few phrases. So, just like everyone else, I wish to be happy and free from suffering. May I be happy and free from suffering. And as you begin to walk, noticing yourself moving through space in that upright or semi-upright position, feel the sensations of your body, perhaps noting the sensations of the soles of your feet, or the air, hot or cold, on your face. Keep your eyes softly focused, walking at a normal pace. I'd like you to keep on walking on the spot for the next few minutes, perhaps enjoying the scenery as seen on the screen. I'd like you to repeat the following loving kindness phrases to yourself as you continue your gentle walk. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Repeat these to yourself. as these phrases will help to keep attention anchored in your body and will start to evoke the attitude of loving kindness. Perhaps over the next few minutes, as we continue our gentle walk, try to match the phrases with each step or with each breath. You may find it more helpful to shorten the phrases to a single word. Safe, happy, healthy, ease. Or perhaps try love, 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 love. When you notice your mind wandering, simply returning back to these phrases. And if you happen to find yourself quickening to get to your destination faster, you find your pace as you walk on the spot. To pick up speed, try to slow down and refocus your purpose back on those phrases. Now, evoking feelings of kindness and gratitude towards your feet for supporting your entire body. I'd like you to simply take a moment to appreciate this experience of walking, of movement. And now, perhaps try, if you can, to expand loving kindness to others. So when somebody catches your attention or crosses your mind, try saying to yourself, "May you and I be safe. May you and I be happy. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease." If you find this difficult, perhaps you may want to try saying, "May you be safe," or going back to single words, safe, healthy, happy, ease, love, 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 love. Don't try to include everybody. Just do this one person at a time. Be mindful to try to keep that attitude of loving kindness alive, at least for the next minute. Okay. Now, allow yourself to receive any expressions of kindness that may come your way. Perhaps bringing a gentle appreciation back to the self and back to the breath. Maybe in this moment, remind yourself of all that you do for others and how this may be appreciated, or how love is extended back towards you. We'll now come to the end of our walking period, and as you gradually slow your steps, stand still for a moment and repeat the following. May all beings be happy and free from suffering. And now, as we've come to the end of this week's session, the following homework I'd like you to try to complete. So if you can, practice the 4 meditation exercises covered today at least once. Now, and I understand that it might be difficult, especially in present times, to get outside to go on a walk. But even if it's just inside, with your eyes shut, or even guided by a virtual walking tour like we used today, that will be fine. I'll provide some links to these in the comments section below. I'd also like you to try to engage in a mindful activity, and that can just be something routine and mundane that you do every day, perhaps like brushing your teeth. I'd like you to, the next time you do this activity, to be fully aware of each and every movement that you make, ensuring that you're there in the present moment, fully taking in every aspect of what you're doing. Lastly, I'd like you to try to continue to engage in self-compassionate talk. So, making note of any time you notice yourself being particularly critical, or that inner voice in your head is being pesky and coming up with not so helpful language towards you. Try to bring an awareness to this, and then to reframe your inner dialogue and to adopt a more compassionate way of interacting with yourself.